Hey guys, Josiah here with Aesthetyx Fitness. In today's video, I am going over the top 5 worst, most useless exercises you can do in the gym. Alright, before I get started with today's video, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below and click the little bell icon. That way every time I come out with a new video, you guys are getting notified so you don't miss out on any great new content. Also, if you feel like it really helps me out if you hit that like button down below as well. Now with that out of the way, let's get started. Okay, so you know how on my channel I usually go over workouts that I think you should do, maybe underappreciated exercises, things that are really good and will help you build a good, strong, functionally fit athletic physique. But in today's video, I wanted to take a look at the other side of that coin, which is workouts and exercises you may have seen, especially on places like Instagram or shared on Facebook, that really are completely useless and won't help you achieve your goals and you should stay away from. Alright, first up is the standing dumbbell chest fly. Now this may look like an exercise that hits both your chest and shoulders while standing up and holding a dumbbell. However, in fact, you're really doing almost nothing useful with this exercise. The reason is, if we look at the science of how weights work, obviously weights only are heavy because of the gravitational pull of the earth pulling them down towards the ground. So if you want to work out your muscles by fighting against gravity, you have to be moving in a way that counteracts the gravitational pull of the weight towards the ground. So basically, if you were to lay on the ground and press a dumbbell up, the reason that works your chest is because gravity is trying to pull the dumbbell back down. Now, if you're trying to flex your chest in a fly motion like you are with a dumbbell or cable fly, you need to ensure that the weight is pulling down or outwards from the center of your chest so that when you move your arm in, you're fighting against gravity. That's why cables work, because when you pull in and flex your chest, the cable goes through a pulley, which is pulling weights off the ground, therefore fighting gravity. Now, if you look at this exercise, which direction is gravity pulling the dumbbell? Straight down towards the ground. Which direction are you trying to flex your chest? Inwards, this way. Which means that this motion is not fighting against the weight of the dumbbell at all. In fact, you're just basically moving your arms back and forth doing this, because even though you're holding a dumbbell in each hand, those dumbbells want to go straight down, not outwards from where you're trying to pull your chest. Now, you could say that this exercise would be useful to sort of work your deltoids across your front and side deltoid because you're moving in sort of an arc motion. And that may be true from just an isometric capacity of holding the weight there, but it's not as good as actually working those muscles through the range of motion, following the direction of the fibers with things like a lateral raise or a front raise or even a shoulder press. So if you want to work your chest and you want to be standing up while you do it, I recommend a cable chest fly to substitute for this exercise. And if instead you want to work your deltoids, work in a side lateral or a front delt raise instead. Alright, the number 2 exercise is similar to the last one, at least in the reason why it's not good, and that is the side shoulder dumbbell abduction. Now, if you can look here, obviously warming up your shoulders with shoulder abductions is a great way to help build some flexibility, make sure to injury-proof yourself and start yourself off with nice flexible joints before your workout. However, again, if we look at the science, where is this dumbbell trying to pull? Straight down towards the ground. It is not providing resistance for your shoulders as you're trying to open them. Instead, again, a cable kept at elbow height is a perfect way to get that motion in, or even just tying a resistance band to a pole. And again, right at elbow level, just working the abduction that way, because you get the tension pulling laterally, fighting against you, so you can actually work your shoulders that way, as opposed to just holding a heavy dumbbell that's just putting strain on your bicep for no good reason and is not in fact providing resistance for your actual exercise. Alright, number 3 is one that I see all over Instagram, and I need to talk about it because this is so popular to do and it's just not a good idea, and that is the side laying single leg press. Now, you will see this all over the place, people claiming this is a great glute builder, helping to correct muscle imbalances because it's a single leg exercise as opposed to using both legs simultaneously. Here's the issue with it. First off, it doesn't really put that much more strain on your glutes than a standard leg press. Second of all, it's really dangerous and not good for you, because when you are doing a load-bearing exercise, you have weight pressing down on you and you're trying to do like a squat or a leg press, anytime where, if you think about it, your back is bearing the weight because you have the pressure of the plate coming towards you as you press, you want to make sure that your spine is in proper alignment and your hips are in proper alignment and your legs are in proper alignment, because any one of those things fails and you're risking injury. Now look at a proper leg press. Your spine is in alignment with your hips, which is in alignment with your legs. Perfect. Now, if you look at the side laying leg press, your spine is tilted away from your hips, which are not really lined up in any straight proper configuration, and you're basically putting hundreds of pounds of pressure from this leg press on a bent and angled spine that is not in line with your hips. This provides a lot of undue stress on your spine and on your hips and makes it very likely that you're going to tweak yourself or injure your low back doing this exercise. If you want to work your legs unilaterally and want to build your glutes, try something like a Bulgarian split squat or a pistol squat or lunges, or if you just want to work your glutes with a nice heavy compound movement, try something like a barbell hip thrust instead. These will be far more functional in this exercise and be a lot safer and help actually more functionally build up your legs and glutes than you would with this strange, janky, weird version of an exercise. And while I'm on the topic of using exercise equipment improperly, let me just throw out a couple dishonorable mentions of other exercises that I wasn't able to fit in this video, but that you definitely also shouldn't do. And that would be things like the butt raised hip abduction, where you're like not sitting on the hip abduction machine but still using it. The only reason that this exercise exists is so that Instagram models can show off their glutes while they do the exercise, because you can't see your butt if you're sitting in the seat. It's not more functional, it's more dangerous, it's less stable, it's just not a useful exercise in any way, shape, or form. Please don't do it. Similarly, trying to use the assisted pull-up machine as a way to do single leg step-ups by putting your foot on the pad that people are putting their knees on and using your dirty foot to push down the pad repeatedly as opposed to using it properly for assisted pull-ups. There are other ways to do that exercise that are more functional. Even just stepping up onto a box holding kettlebells is the exact same motion, but you're working stuff properly, not misusing exercise equipment. So that's my little PSA. I'll step down off my soapbox and get to the next most useless exercise that you should never do, which is the combo of lunge and bicep curl combined into one exercise. And the very simple reason this exercise is not a great exercise is simply that you're trying to do too much all at one time. You are never going to be able to carry a weight heavy enough to really overload your legs in a 4 to 8 rep range during lunges if you're holding weights that you can also bicep curl simultaneously. It's not a heavy enough weight, and not only that, are you risking injury because you're moving the weight around as you're trying to do a very specific single leg exercise that already requires a lot of coordination to do, but you're also just combining two completely functionally different exercises in a bicep motion and a leg motion, and trying to do those simultaneously is going to make it so you can't really fully overload one or the other. Much better to focus your energy on completing that exercise for that muscle, overloading it, going to failure, and then working out your other muscle. There's no reason you should be trying to work out your biceps and your quads simultaneously in the exact same motion. It just doesn't make functional sense, and you will get less progress that way than if you actually treat each exercise as its own exercise so that you can focus on that, perform it well, perform it heavily, and get a good overload on that exercise. And finally, the last most useless exercise that you should never do in the gym is the double weighted side bend. Now, you probably see people doing this a lot. This is something a lot of people make a mistake on when they try to do a side bend to work their obliques. Now, if you've ever been on a teeter-totter, you know that having a person of equal weight on each side helps allow it to move very freely, and those people don't have to put in a lot of effort to jump very high, which is exactly the opposite of what you want if you want to be lifting a heavy weight and making your body work to get that weight off the ground. Which is why having a dumbbell in each hand actually counterbalances itself and makes your body not have to work as hard to, do each side bend. What makes a lot more sense if you think about it is just holding a dumbbell in one side and using your body to fight against the gravitational pull and the weight of that dumbbell so that you're having to work that side, switch hands, and do the other side and bend up from the side on that one. The reason that makes sense is because that way you're unilaterally loading on the one side of your body and your other side has to work extra hard to lift that weight up. If the other side of your body already has a dumbbell on it, then you can just basically do this all day and you're not actually working anything. And with that being said, that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Make sure to leave a like down below if you enjoyed the video or found it entertaining or informative, and subscribe for future content, and leave a comment down below letting me know your thoughts, any exercises that you think should be added to the list of most useless exercises that you should never do, because I want to know your opinions and I want to be able to talk to you guys in the comments down below. So let me know and give me topics I should cover in future videos so that I can help you train smarter and look better.